As April is identified as Stress Awareness Month, this week's Wellbeing Wednesday is going to talk about all different aspects of stress and ways to combat it. We know that stress has become such a common occurrence in our lives. For many people, when you're asking them how they're doing, the answer is typically, I'm tired, or I'm stressed, or both. And we have found that stress in many ways can be unavoidable. For some people, they see stress as a positive. It motivates them, it drives them, it helps them to make less mistakes. And we know that while stress can be a commonplace piece in our lives and can be helpful, it can also be hurtful when it persists. Whenever our bodies are under a constant state of stress, they're never able to get to that full resting place. So not only are we unable to get full restorative sleep, but we're never really fully able to turn off those engines. As it's running and running and running, we see higher risk for turning into higher levels of anxiety. We see it for physical difficulties and physical ailments and conditions. We also start to see higher rates of burnout professionally, reduced productivity, and all other aspects that can have physical and psychological health problems. Chronic stress can be linked with all of these different health conditions, as well as just lower well-being and overall less satisfaction with life. So it's going to be important to recognize the signs of stress and to be able to counter that. So seeing that for some people, it can be a tightness in the stomach or feeling nauseous or feeling less likely to be able to eat, whereas others are turning to food for comfort. We can see feeling fidgety, restless, difficulty with focus and concentration. And so understanding how your body is communicating stress to you will then help you to identify it earlier on before it turns into a larger stress response and help you to find effective ways to be able to combat it. We know that there are all different strategies to combat stress. For some, it's deep breathing. Others, it's meditation, mindfulness exercises. It can be doing relaxation exercises such as progressive muscle relaxation. For some, it's exercising or listening to music and many other things in between. Even sitting there and spending time with a pet can help to increase the positive chemicals being produced in our bodies to help us to relax more. It's going to be really important to take that time for ourselves. So while there are many responsibilities that are out there, recognizing that we can't afford to not take those opportunities for self-care or just those opportunities for rest versus having to constantly be on the go. It could be something as small as saying no to something so that you can say yes to other things. Other strategies to combat stress, trying new routines, from scheduling bath and bedtimes and other of those things, just having that opportunity to have some structure, what your body can know when to feel hungry, when to feel tired, when it's going to be able to rest, and things to be able to balance as the rest of the day may feel out of control. There are still pieces that can be controlled. This is also why it's important to stay connected with friends and family and to be focused on building new relationships, because we know that social support can be incredibly important for combating stress. Also, possibly considering some of the reframes. When we see problems, instead of sitting in a traffic jam and feeling immediate anger, could we reframe that thinking and see it as the opportunity to make a phone call to a loved one that we didn't have time for, or to catch up on some news or listen to a podcast and have that time back in the day that we wouldn't have been able to dedicate to those things, instead of just being late or frustrated that we are stuck in traffic. And of course, to highlight that it is okay to seek help, whether it's from family and friends or from professionals. It's not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength to recognize when the demands are exceeding those resources that the stress is putting on us. Be well.